Wow, Jesse Johnson, it is such an honor to have you
Talk
in
about
front of
blowing the dust off of stuff. Jesus Christ.
We brought you all the way back to 1984, Ice Cream Castles, Jungle Love.
Wow.
Was that actually recorded in 84 or did it happen earlier than that?
I think we might have recorded it in, when did Purple Rain come out?
He was shooting it in 83, so 83, 84.
Yeah, so we recorded it. We recorded it a while back, but it didn't have Morris's vocal on it. We did that after the movie, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was the recording of this song? Like, how did the session go? Like, what was
for me, it was it was like well, you get your, what is it called, getting your ticket pulled, where we were leaving acting class. We were leaving acting class. I think if you go to my Facebook page, that the demo that I did, it's just me on it, but it's up there. But we were leaving acting class, and I said I had been giving Prince songs, and he would, he'd call Morris and he'd go, "You got to hear this," and they'd be, Morris always, when Morris laughs, she gets tears kind of. They would be crying and laughing at the stuff I was giving them, but I was like, wasn't deterred. I was like, oh, okay. Because then, I figured, definitely without a doubt, Prince knew what he was doing. So I kept coming back. And then when I came back with that, we were leaving acting class, and I said, "Can I play you something?" And he goes, "Yeah, let's sit in your car. Let's listen to it in your car." Because my car sounded the best, but I didn't have air conditioning. They had nicer cars, but my car had a trunk and it bumped. So he got in the driver's seat, I got in the passenger seat, and he put it in and he played it. And he goes, "Now that's what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
And he said, "Let's cut it tonight. Let's cut it tonight." And I was like, "Oh no," because I'm thinking every time I gave him a song, I thought he's just gonna go, "Cool, I'm gonna go do it." Mm-hmm. That's what I thought he did. But with me every time, he's like, "Yeah, let's go do this." And I'm like, thinking I'm gonna be there watching. And it was like Morris was standing there, and I was against the wall, and we had a OB8. And he split the OB8, and I'm playing the bass, but I'm against the wall. And so he said, "You're going to play I want you to play the bass." And I was like super, super nervous because he's like a, elite keyboardist. So
how old would you have been at this time?
Too young and stupid to understand the history we were making, that's for sure. But I had never been 20s? In a studio. Yeah, but I had never been in a studio either. So it was all that. And Morris was standing there just watching and just standing there, and I'm this way, and the wall is right here, my shoulders on, and I'm at the end going bum, 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 bum. He split the OB8, and he's doing the horns, da, 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 da. Bum, 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 bam, da. And so we cut it like that, and then that part that goes da, da, da wasn't really in the demo like that, and he goes, he goes, do this. And I didn't hear him, and I'm playing something else. So he stops the tape and rolls in, we punch in. It was like, we cut it like that. Playing it at the same time. Was really quite nervous, and it actually ended up being the biggest charting song for the time. Yeah, it's the biggest charting song of the history of the time.
And so you were the one that brought that to Prince.
Yeah, that was just him and I on that song.
And how did you had the vocals already been written, or was it kind of like
no? He wrote the vocals. I did the music.
Okay,
I did the music because he was just playing what was on the demo. He really dug it.
And then Morris was brought in after the fact to then record the vocals after everything else was done.
We did it after. We did it way after the movie was in the can. The movie wasn't out, but it was in the can. Because the one in the movie is a live version. Mm-hmm. It's like we didn't really know how the song was going, but in the movie it's a live version of everything.
Wow! And did I hear you say they were putting you in acting classes for the purposes of Purple Rain?
Yeah, you had to. We were in. I was in ballet for a year, acting for like I think 6 months, and I didn't understand the ballet thing. But when they broke it down, it was a memory thing. Because when you go to ballet, they go 1 and 2, and then you'll do a whole thing. But as you're doing it, it's a different part, and they go, okay, the next part we're going to add is this, that, and you're like, why am I in ballet? But we were there because we had to be there. But we were all in ballet doing it, and what it was for is to build your memory. So at the end of the class, he would go, okay, now we're going to go from the top. And you're like, oh, I forgot. So you had to do all those parts connected, and that's what it was, a memory thing.
Wow. Well, I think it's incredible. I had actually no idea that you were the one that brought that to Prince, and that the fact that Morris recorded his vocal like totally after the fact. Nobody knows this, you know?
Yeah, Prince he sung the demo. I mean, not the demo, but he demoed the voice, the vocals, and then Morris had to learn it and then cut it.
And then who's doing like all the OEOEOs?
Prince, Morris, and myself.
Awesome.
Jungle Love, I'm playing Prince's guitar, that Telly.
Okay, the Mad Cat?
Yeah.
And then what
it was
what
called,
amp was
it had another name on it. What was the name of that thing? It was like the German.
Hohner.
Yes, that's what I'm playing. Because he played way bigger strings at that time than I did. And I wasn't about to try to solo on that thing, but that's what I'm playing on Jungle Love.
And then, do you know what amp he was using for that, or what you?
It was direct.
It was
direct, but we were running through an API.
Okay.
Into the console was
Memory room. Video.
No. Which console did you buy for me?
Soundcraft.
But it was a
TS24.
It was the other console. I ended up buying it. It was it was called a B3, but God, I can't remember the name. But I ended up buying that console after when you got ready to leave for the tour. But no, that was a direct, but we always ran through APIs.
Wow.
Because Prince actually had a machine that was, it was 16 track, but it had it was a 2-inch, it was weird. It was a 16 track machine, but it had a 2-inch head on it.
Wow.
So he would go to, that's why we would go to Sunset Sound and do the other 8 tracks.
Wow.
Because it was like, yeah, I think that's what blew my mind is like, when I met Prince, I didn't know who he was or anything like that. That's why we kind of had a strange relationship, because I was like, fuck, I didn't really know who he was. And so when I went to, but I knew as I got to know him, Morris was saying, he does, he's really blah, blah, blah. He's big, this, that, another. But when I went to his house and saw what he was recording on, I was floored. Because, when you're a kid, you think recording studios are like millions of dollars and they're big. His studio it was a complete joke. It was like he had an AMIC board that was about this, not even a recording, but I think it was broadcasting. And it was about this, literally this wide. And he had those Uri speakers with the light bulbs in them. It was just real not good shit. And that's what blew my mind, is that I realized it's not the gear, it's knowing what you're doing. And he really knew what he was doing, because it wasn't the gear.
Wow.
And he was cutting amazing stuff on equipment that wasn't that great. But he had a great machine. He always had an Ampex machine, and they sounded phenomenal.
Well, why don't we then get into talking about The Bird?
Oh, yeah, The Bird.
Tell me about that. That was also Ice Cream Castles.
We had a huge fight over that song because the studio version is just mind-blowing. It's phenomenal. And for some reason he wouldn't put it on the record, and Morris and I we talked all night. It's like, yeah, man, we got to tell him. And Morris is like, yeah, we on board. And okay, we're going to tell him. And I got to the studio and I'm waiting by the door and Prince walks in. I said, man, we don't like that version of the song. And he's just all calm. He said, Morris is fine with it. And I'm like, what? Morris just hung me out to dry, man. He sold me out on that.
Dang.
But the studio version was like, it's amazing. And live, I think I play it like this because I have to dance. I'm going, yeah. But on this recording, Prince is going like that. So the recorded version, I mean, what he did on the keyboard just... It's ridiculous.
So what we hear is just the live recording that was for the purposes of the movie for Purple Rain.
Yeah, but I hated the live version.
Yeah, I hated the live version.
I should have never heard the studio version. And I was there when it was cut. And it's because I came in with that idea. Mm-hmm. I was playing it on tour because Morris used to get in trouble every night because they would go on stage and I can't remember what song we were doing in the beginning, but before we did the song, every night he would come out and Morris, Jam, Lewis, and Jerome, they would go to I'm here on stage. They would go to that side of the stage and do this right here and start doing, they called it the pterodactyl. And so Prince told them not to do that anymore. And they would do it every night and we would just be in trouble. So they didn't care. But they would do. So that came up with that, the bird thing. Everybody do the bird line. Came up with that part and then and the vocal thing, and that's how I wrote on that.
And did you do the vocal? Did you write the lyric for that, or did Morris come in and do that after the fact? Or
no, Prince ended up fleshing out the lyrics and finish it, and then Morris came in and sang it after the fact.
Got it. Would you be willing to play a little bit of that for us so that we can hear kind of how you structured the part on the bird?
Oh yeah, but I don't play. Yeah, I play it differently. I think because the original recording was.
Well, this is Jesse's mix.
And then when we played a lot, I went. And I played it like that because I was told not to. So I'm like, I'm doing that.
Well, maybe we'll bring in some of the track and you can do it whatever way you want to do it. And we're just here to watch you do your thing.
Y'all better do this one. What time is it? I told y'all 10 seconds to get to the dance floor.
I was like, I can't believe it. I've never heard that since then.
Wow.
When was the last time you think you played that, Jesse? Like all the way through like that?
I had to have been probably when we recorded it.
So,
You know, because we never toured. We never toured behind that record. That's why. So that was the last time I played it, is when we played it at First Avenue for the record plant to record it for the movie. It
wow.
was before we ever started the movie.
Wow. Well, it sounded absolutely incredible. And on stage, was that DI or was there amps when you
I
guys...
always had amps.
What do you think you would have used for that?
That was a 1999 tour, so I had my own amps. I had a JCM 800 for the dirty, and for the clean, I would have had, because I had
Like
two
a boogie?
amps. No, I didn't have, are you kidding me? I wouldn't be allowed to have that in the band. I had to have that after I left. No, I had, I think, a Fender. I had a Fender head, but it was going through, it was like a dual Showman head going through a Marshall
Cabinet?
yeah. Because
Okay.
if you see it, it's two pink, there's two cabinets with pink grill cloth, but then there's a JCM, because that's my favorite head.
See,
And they never make those heads like they used to. They always have EL34s in it, and I always had 6550s, so they were clean.
Yeah.
But big, boom, boom, boom. I think, isn't that the American version of a KT88?
Well,
Or is it different?
it's different, but a lot of the export ones would come. A lot of the ones that weren't going to England would come with 6550s or some sort of alternative, and then
Yeah, I
people
always loved the
would
60s. I don't
change,
like EL34s.
a
They
few
just-
components and put EL34s in them.
Yeah, because I think you can just pull them out and put them in, but you got to rebias.
Yeah, there's some screen grid resistors that you have to kind of change, but in any case, but it sounded absolutely incredible.
Yeah, because every time I backline, I'll get JCM 800s if I can find them, but they always have EL34s in there.
What's the deal with this guitar? Like, it's beautiful, impeccably decorated. It sounds insane. What can you tell us that's not secret about this instrument?
I had started painting on stuff, and I mean, I even had like 69, beautiful 69 lefty Strat that I found in London. But I painted all over, and people were like, "You're gonna ruin that guitar. You ruined that." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Hopefully nobody will steal it." People are stealing my stuff all the time. I used to go out on tour with like 12 pair of shoes and come back with like 4.
It's because you were so stylish. People wanted to have what you had.
I don't think that them girls were not wearing those shoes. They were just like, I got his shoes. That's what they were doing.
They wanted a keepsake.
Yeah, they keepsake, all right. I would send my clothes to the dry cleaners and they would never come back, especially if I was in like Atlanta or something. And you go and they call the dry cleaners and the guy goes, "Oh, what is it worth?" And you go, blah, blah, blah. "Oh, we'll pay." They were keeping them. But so a lot of my guitars were getting swooped all the time. So I started just drawing on them. And then I put the crystals on it just as an energy thing, like, you know, a lightning rod, if you will, or divining rod. Trying to do that kind of thing.
And then what pickups are in these? Are these stock or is this something
No,
that you...
these were actually this one and the sister of this one.
Yeah.
Jack Briggs made these from scratch, and they're just, I had sent pickups out to him with these, and he was like, no.
You gotta start over, start from scratch.
Like, nah. He was like, "Nah, I'm not doing those. Pickups are garbage." And he said he made all of these from scratch, and
they're beautiful and they sound great.
Yeah.
Well, and our mutual friend, the great Eddie Martinez, is a big fan of the Briggs guitars.
And, that's who turned me on to Jack Briggs, was Eddie and Jimmy Hazel from 24/7 Spies.
Yep.
They turned me on to him, but he did me a solid, because I really, every time when I have to go out, I don't know what my, because everything's backline now. I'm used to carrying, you know, I want to get back to where I'm carrying my amps at least ahead, because you never know what you're getting. And
sure.
I miss it so much, not being able to have my own, because you had the same sound every night. You didn't have to worry about, I wouldn't even go to sound checks half the time, because it was just like, you knew it was set.
Yeah.
But he did a great job, because whenever I travel and I got to make sure it's quiet, whatever he did, it works.
Wow.
They're very quiet and and the tone is amazing. Very Hendrix tone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love him.
So glassy.
And this is like, I don't know what this is, but it's like, he's just so cool. He drew those. They look like magnets, but they're not.
Right.
They're not. He drew those on there.
Wow.
It's like it's almost like a humbucker. It's like a half of a humbucker.
I see.
So it's a little bit. 'Cause I hate putting a humbucker in the Strat. I always like them to look
Yeah, look the part.
like a Stratocaster.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. Well, that's amazing. Well, I'd love to move on, Jesse. We've talked a little bit about your work with Morris Day and with Prince, but I'd love to talk to you about your first solo record that you released. That was 1985, was it not?
Sure wasn't 1885? That's what it feels like right now. Jesus Christ. I'm like, what?
So how did you get your record deal?
I actually lied and got my record deal. I lied like a rug to get my record deal, because they said you got to get what we have to put you with a producer, and I go no. I know how to produce. I've been doing this. And they said, what songs have you produced? And I started naming the time songs. And they said, you produce? I'm like, yeah. They're not going to ask Prince. And they're like, he's not going to talk to them. I'm like, yeah, I produced this and I produced that. And And some of the stuff, a lot of the stuff I actually did. But because actually on the Ice Cream Castle album, I did have producer credit.
Yeah.
It got taken off when I quit. Yeah. So that's what happened to that. Somebody found it. A kid, oh no, not a kid, but he's a grown man, but his mother worked at Warner Brothers. So he sent me the Bernie Grumman acetates, and it has all the credits and Prince's writing. It says, produce yours truly. So
all right.
I told you.
There you go. You got receipts now.
Yeah. I was like, I will. Well, whether people know or not, I always know. So that's enough for me.
Well, hopefully we can clear the air there now on any ambiguity as to what you were involved with. But
that's how I got my deal. I just lied. And then, they said, okay. Well, and when you are producing your record, you're not I didn't want to be on a budget. I want to be on a thing called a fund, where you have to control the money and so forth and so on. And so I did that, and then I went and bought this board that was just, oh my God, it was just garbage. And I was like, I'm in trouble. That's when it was a Soundcraft B3. That's the console I bought from Prince. The Soundcraft B3 is what we cut $19.99 on Vanity 6, the album the Time album that has 7/7 on it, and we cut. Purple Rain was cut on, everything later was cut on it. Purple Rain and Ice Cream Castle, we cut it on that console, which a friend of mine owns it today. He had it all redone, and it just sits up in, John McClane has it in Marvin's room. Okay. And here in LA. And that board is like legendary. And he has it, and I have like 6, I think I put 8 APIs in it. Wow. Because in that console. But that's what I cut my first album. What was my second album? I don't remember. First time I definitely cut on that console.
So like Be Your Man, that's all that?
Yes.
And do you remember like how you can conceptualize like that song, for example? Was that just like something that had been rolling around in your head, or was it like
just pure, absolute, blind fear of not drowning and just not knowing what you're doing, but still swimming. So, Well,
this was a hit. So,
yeah, I didn't see any of that coming. I didn't see that with any of my songs, though. I just, in all honesty, I just love making music. If I didn't make a penny or nobody knew who I was, I'd still be doing the same thing. Because I just absolutely live for it. This is my religion. This is my world. This is my God, if you will. It's like music, man. It's like you take that away from me, I'm not me. Yeah. And guitar, forget about it. As a young kid, I knew from day one exactly what I was going to do. I think I asked my dad, could I use a lawnmower, and we didn't mowed every lawn in the tri-state area, and got this guitar. It was really cheap at a store called Grandpa's called Norma, and the strings were about this high. But I was like, and then they said, if you work to get a guitar, we'll buy you an amp. And then one day they came home and surprised me with this little amp pick. I was like, oh, it's over. That happened, and when I was like about 13, I was in a different foster home, and I was getting into like Parliament Funkadelic, and they were playing at East Side High, which was a ways from where I lived in East St. Louis. I remember taking 3 buses with transfers and get to this high school. I knock at the door, and the guy opens the door. Who's up? And it's like, what are you doing on here? You know how dangerous it is? And so he let me come in because I was a little kid. He let me come in. And so I'm sitting in the bleachers. I get to see Parliament Funkadelic rehearse, sound check, and that was it. That was it. I knew it was over. That ever since then, I've never just. Wow. I knew. to the same feeling that you got then, that I got then, I get when I even think about it. But I knew exactly what I was going to do.
Wow. Well, Jesse, I'm wondering if you'd be willing to play a little bit of "Be Your Man" to the original track, if you want to take a chance.
Yes, I'll try to remember it.
All right.
I really didn't practice because I don't like that. It's like when I sound check. I don't like to go to the venue because now I saw the venue.
You're doing it exactly as I hoped you would.
Little dissonant. Little dissonant.
I love it. Going into a little, can you help me?
Want me to pull that up?
Do you want to play that one?
Oh, that's always.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. I'm game. You're game.
Yeah.
All right.
So before we move on to the can you help me, what did you use on Be Your Man for gear? Was that also the G&L?
Yes. Yes.
And
The only
when-
guitar I had. So.
And would you have been into boogies by that time?
No, I was never into boogies. I just used boogies for clean.
Okay.
Because they were the model that we used. The one I had, it was the dirty stuff was taken out. It was 300 watts.
So is it
You
called
had
a
me
Coliseum?
playing in front of a 300-watt Boogie Coliseum Mark III. I left most of my hearing.
Oh
in
no, I wasn't in
rehearsal.
front. I said those amp were over there, but I had it was a 300 watt head, and I had it in a cabinet with the JBLs with the silver cones, and I used that for clean because I remember G.E. Smith really freaked on that sound. But
So what would have been the amp for Be Your Man?
it would have probably. Oh, I think I just went direct because I was going through the API and all that.
Any compression that you would add to that?
No, I didn't know how to use that. I still don't know how to use that.
What about on Can You Help Me? Because that was a little bit more gained out.
Yeah, that was an amp.
Would that have been the 800, the JCM 800?
No, I didn't know how to do that either. It was something little.
The Bronco?
No. It was something dirty, but it might have been like a Marshall combo with a. But I had I just can't remember it was the first company that made the sealed cabinet. They made a sealed cabinet.
Isobox.
It was long like that, and it had a 57 in it.
Okay.
And the shit was still really loud. Because my neighbors hated me. But I was in a townhouse with, it was crazy. But yeah, it was an amp. It was definitely, what head would I have used? You know what? Because I had to, remember we did a lot of our stuff through that we had the first Rockman. Remember I had the one that sounded really good?
Mm-hmm.
And
So
so I
the
had the
Tom
very
Scholz
first
Rockman.
Rockman. I used to use that a lot. Whoa, these strings are tight.
Woo!
God, oh my God. Can I go back to Fun Town again? These strings are so hard.
Dude, you just murdered that solo. What are you talking about? What is this wah?
Oh, this McWah, man.
So this is, where is this? Do you know where this is made?
Yes,
Michael
Mechanic.
yeah.
And is it made in America? Is it
Yes,
made in
he's in Maryland actually. But
Maryland.
but just go to McWah.com.
McWah.com.
It's like just like you knocked at Jimmy's door, said electric lady, and I said, "Can I borrow your wah for a second?" He does everything pristine and it's all top grade, everything. And it's like I just want to. And the throw on it is incredible. Like I can't even get like how many wahs you know the bass is this clear. That's bad. That's
wow.
Badass.
Wow. Well, that sounds incredible. It's an incredible wah.
Yeah.
I should mention though, speaking of great pedals, that a lot of us who are guitar players, we're always looking for new gear. One of our sponsors, in fact, are our friends over at the Sweetwater Gear Exchange, and it's Sweetwater's third-party used gear marketplace where you can buy and sell used gear. Maybe if somebody's looking for a wah, maybe one of these would turn up if they're lucky enough, or they can go to the source.
When they turn up the price, it's quite
high. It's quite high. But the good thing about the Gear Exchange is if you are selling something and you decide you want to put your money on a Sweetwater gift card, you get to keep 100% of the profits.
Oh, wow.
You don't have to turn any of the money over in fees. So check out our friends over at Sweetwater Gear Exchange that make these interviews possible. So we've got a guitar change here. We're going to get into Bare My Naked Soul, and I think one of the most unique songs on it is Monika. And I'm noticing here on this guitar, we're missing an E string, and we have a unique tuning. What are you willing to tell us about some of the things that are going on here?
It's like an open G, but a Keith Richards with the 5 instead of 6 string with the E gone. So it's just so it's pure. It's actually purely Keith Richards.
As far as like the concept, because I know we're moving broadly from your very first album, which is 1985 with Jesse Johnson's Revue, but now moving into Bare My Naked Soul, which was 11 years later, 1996. What was kind of the impetus for this album, or like was there any sort of concept or sort of idea that you were trying to express through this record that was fundamentally different than what you had done?
I just really wanted to make a bass, drum, guitar record. Mm-hmm. No keys, no synths, just almost like a straight blues bass, rock bass record. I mean, that's where I actually live and come from. As a matter of fact, my new stuff that's coming out is just pure, straight ahead. So I'm looking forward to playing that. But that was my approach on this, because everybody wants to. You should always make a record that you make a record for yourself. Mm-hmm. And that was a record that was purely for myself. I didn't care even though I was lucked out because I did it independently and it sold like 100,000. So it was pretty good. I lucked out and then people dug it. It's one of my best reviewed albums. If you go to Amazon, people really raved over it.
Well, it's got some really great songs on it. And I'm wondering if maybe we can transition into actually playing Monika to the track so people can kind of hear what that sounds like.
Most definitely.
All right, let's do that.
It's a fun track to bump to.
Special.
So next up, we've got our Strat back. I want to get into My Life. This thing is, I think, to me, really emblematic of your Hendrix influences, your blues influences. And I'm curious, like, what was the gear on this? Because the guitar sound is absolutely massive.
I was using I was playing through a Matchless.
Okay.
They were new at that time. They were new. I was in Minneapolis, and I was playing through. I rented a bunch of stuff, but I was playing through a Matchless. And that feedback you hear, I don't know if you hear that feedback throughout the song. I'm standing in front of the speakers with a flying V, using it as a divining rod, and it's just feeding back the whole time. I'm just moving it like that, and that's
Wow.
that's that feedback that you hear all the way through there. That's what it is. I'm just standing with a flying V. But I used a Matchless on that.
And was it a Flying V guitar that you even used for the guitar playing? And
No. That was it was a Stratocaster.
Okay. And then what about for like the fuzz tone?
I was just using, I think, the distortion of the I was using the distortion of the amp, but one of the main sounds in there that sounds like a jet coming in is untouched. It's a from the 70s or 60s or 70s, late 60s, a super fuzz. They were these big orange pedals with
a big blue foot switch.
Mine didn't even have the blue pedal on it. It was broke off, but one of the guys, there was a really cool shop in St. Paul. These guys could make anything. They were called like Good Guys, I think. They were amazing, but they made it where just I just could step on the switch and turn off and on. But those pedals only play one note.
Okay.
They had like a little octave, and so when you hit your E, it's just so Sabbath, you know. Has that Tony Iommi just, and it was a great sounding pedal. But that's what gives it the real voodoo.
And what about for the flange sound?
It was really that pedal. It just sounds like I'm using a flanger, but I'm not. I just think the guitars are doing that because I think instead of knocking one of the mics out of phase, I didn't. I left it.
Okay.
So that they're doing that on purpose.
Okay.
But the cool thing was that holding up a guitar, not touching the strings, and it's just feeding back through the mains, just crazy. And it's in key.
Here's my life is my universe. Millions of million years. I come and I only come for more. I never leave. The mother earth is my wife. To her I give my life.
Something like that. Man, these strings are hard. Mother.
Well, I'm wondering if we can move to a tune from Verbal Penetration, the actual song Verbal Penetration.
Oh,
and
yeah.
get to-
Oh God! I know? I never played that before. Like that. I gotta check.
We know
it out.
you've played it at least once.
Yeah, exactly. But I've never played.
Do you remember anything about what you used back on Verbal Penetration?
Yeah, I used Minerick. You know, if you see the black Minerick that D'Angelo played, I did a lot of that album.
So a humbucker guitar or a single coil?
Yeah, but it was a humbucker, but it was split.
Split, okay.
And then some of the solos is the solo on that song is a one of those Hendrix.
The Strats or
The Olympic, the left. It was the Woodstock one that they made.
Yeah, in the mid '90s one.
I had like 3 of those. I have one now that's so light it seems like it's hollow, but I love it.
And then what amp?
I just was jumping through anything. I think I used a Fender Champ.
Really?
Yeah,
It's a small amp.
Yeah, I got that from Billy Gibbons.
Really?
He uses a lot of little amps, but has a monster tone though.
He absolutely does, and light strings like you do.
Yeah, he uses lighter than me. He's a 7.
What gauge strings are you using on these?
I use a 8, but they're Ernie Ball chromas, and so they're a little stiffer. Instead of it's like the slinkies are a little too soft, but they're too slinky. But the chroma is a little stiffer. So even if I tune down the D, they just have a nice low sound. They just have a nice thickness to them. But I like those because they're a little bit stiffer. Because if I tune my slinkies down to that, they'll be too light. But the chroma is a little stiffer, lasts a lot longer, and this is a really nice string, almost a throwback to a Fender rock and roll string.
Well, and you need I think people don't understand if you're trying to do the Hendrix thing, you have to have a certain amount of slinkiness in order to pull off those bends.
Because he does. I mean, I'm sure Randy can show you better than me. Randy Henson, he really got that down. But Hendrix doesn't play like we play with the 3 fingers like that. Yeah. He plays with 2 fingers a lot of times. So he does that.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear some Verbal Penetration if you're so willing.
Me too.
And I'm
gonna figure it out.
I think you're going to nail it. You've been first takes across the board.
I'm starting to feel that bit awake now.
So, what I like to do, Jesse, to finish up today is I like to show guests some photos from the past and have them talk about what it is that was going on in that particular situation to the degree that you're able to. And I've got some nice photos here that I wanted to show you. The first of which is the cover of Ice Cream Castles and a very distinguished gentleman there.
Yeah, right there.
Do you remember when that photo was taken?
Oh, yeah.
So where was this?
It was in up in the mountain somewhere here, and it was 7,000 degrees outside.
So super hot, and you had to put on like all these layers?
It was blazing up there.
So it was in LA?
Yes.
Wow.
At a castle way up in the mountain thing. Because the first time I saw one of those cameras on a...
like a dolly?
Yeah, where it's moving all around like that on Africa with the thing.
And so was this like a long drawn out shoot to get kind of the perfect shot, or was it fairly?
No, it was actually rather. It was boring as it was. I don't remember being excited. I just remember us going, "We are doing this," and 7,000 degrees up. I remember that.
So what about the style there? I mean, you got a beautiful suit there. The hair is pristine. Was that like a wardrobe choice that you made, or did they have like a stylist come in, or?
That was something we just put on. Because they used to rent shit from Gone with the Wind. Remember the movie Gone with the Wind? Sure. So it was Warner Brothers, so we could rent clothes from 1,000 years ago.
Wow.
We wanted to really have like the original zoot suits.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely over here on the right. It's definitely more of a zoot suit. Wow.
Those guys there just got hired. Jerry Hubbard, Mark Cardenas, and Paul Peterson.
Wow.
I hired all three of them. Wow.
Now, the picture below, we got you got Prince, we got Morris Day. Do you remember, what's a fond memory that you have with those two gentlemen?
It's too much crazy. It's so many. It's a lot of that stuff is in my book. Especially when the three of us together was insane. It was just pure insanity. But when the three of us were hanging out, I was really super, super new. They knew each other really well, so they talked in code a lot. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about half the time.
Had a whole inside language.
Then we started hanging out, and I don't know. He's funny as hell too. Yeah. He would come. Morris, one time I saw Morris do something I've never seen a man do. He was drunk, and he walked into this lady. She was absolutely beautiful. And he sat at her table, and he said, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'd never seen this. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't no good. So he said, I ain't no good. He said, I ain't shit. And he ended up copping. I was like, that was the dopest thing I've ever seen. But I don't know, it was weird. We would leave the club when Prince and I were hanging out. We would leave the club and always go. I never knew where I was in LA. I never knew, like I used to work at Larrabee. I never knew where I was because I just never knew where I was. So we would go leave this club. You remember the club called Vala? It's like a private joint that people waiting outside, they couldn't get in, and we would just get out and go in. But we'd always leave this and go to Ralph's. I think it was up on La Brea. Ralph's, we would go to Ralph's on La Brea and get cereal, and then open it in the store and be eating cereal in the store. Walk out with it, but it was at one. He was on Rolling Stone one year, and I just don't remember the cover. But they had, back then when they used to have the whole shelf with it. Yeah. And he would go, and I didn't see him. I was looking for him. He goes, Jesse. Like, come around the corner and finally found. He's like doing the same pose as just funny shit.
The cover is it the one where his arms are like intertwined? I guess it would have been later.
It was from that because that's 1999.
Okay.
Tour right there. So
I know that it has been quoted that Prince said that you were his favorite guitar player.
Yeah, I have that in a. He said, I don't really know what that meant. I don't know if that meant I was a great guitar player or was just crazy. But I have an article that somebody sent me from Minneapolis. He was being interviewed, and he said I'm the only guitar player that scares him. So I don't know if that means by playing or just I don't fucking know.
But the rumor has it that you were actually the guitar player on 1999 for the Wah Wah parts. Is that true?
Yeah, but that's not a lot to brag about because it's
what are you talking about? That's amazing.
Oh, but I'm singing on that song and everything too. We're on the mic, all three together. Me, Prince, and Jill Jones.
Just one mic.
Yeah, because I never got credit. We're doing all kinds of stuff on there.
Not to the track, but could you just like show me just like how you were doing the wah part? Because it just sounds like so funky.
I feel so dumb playing that because it's like it's not a. Oliver was just telling him it's not. It's
funky. See, it's funky.
That's straight comedy.
That's from Oliver Lieber himself.
That right there. We go. What's the main part go? I had a crybaby. I brought it. They had never seen a crybaby. I had an original crybaby they brought to me. Yeah.
From the 70s?
Yeah. But I didn't play that part, though.
So Prince is playing that part, and then you're...
Yeah, but there's other wah stuff in there. Where it goes... You know when it does a little lick, that ain't me. You know my playing. You know if it... I'm just... Did Dez have... No, what was Dez playing live? I think he was playing. I don't know what he was playing. I did tours with him. I've never said 2 words to him. Yeah. I did. I never said 2 words.
So you're doing kind of the lower register wah stuff.
Yeah, just something like that. But I played on a bunch of songs. I played on Gigolos. But I didn't get credited. Doesn't matter.
Any other ones that are notable? Or that you sang on?
We just sang back. I sang background on that time. I played on all that time. I played drums on that time record. Did you know that?
No.
If the Kid. That's me.
Really?
Because everybody was drunk. Because we could. You know how it's really hard to do a ballad. Oliver's a drummer. You know how hard it is to do a ballad, right? So first Morris tried to do it, and he just kept. Morris is a great drummer, but he kept speeding up too. So then Prince tried to do it. Then he was speeding up too. And I don't know if you noticed, but that's why it's got weird edits. And you see how slow I'm playing, but you see how fast it is. And because they had to fade that shit out because everybody kept flying. But them guys were drinking, drinking wine, trying to slow down. But I was like, I'm not drinking no wine. But he said, oh, just keep playing. Okay, you play it. We'll do it. But we wrote that. That's when I wrote that out. I came up with that. That was really a lot of fun. Jimmy Jam always go, oh, you just looked that album because you work. I said, no, it's a really good album. I said, it was just out there. Like when we did Ice Cream Castle, the shit we was saying. You playing a G like that? And I was just playing anything. But when I did Jungle Love, Foster Silvers. You heard of Foster Silvers, right? He was sitting next to me when I did Jungle Love solo. And I wasn't playing it. And Peggy McCleary She was the engineer, and I was going. You see how lame that solo is? I do something like. I just don't like that, and it's just so lame, and because I knew this shit was gonna get turned down, right? So Foster Silver is sitting right here, and he's waiting for me to do the solo, and I ain't put no energy into him. Like, fuck this, he's gonna turn this shit, because everything I did got turned down, so I got turned volume-wise. And so I left with Foster and went to the studio and played on Shalimar's very first Grammy winner, their giveaway. That's me, but I couldn't say that shit because I've been in so much trouble. But I wanted to work with all the top engineers. Went to with Leon Silvers is so fucking brilliant. God, that guy's brilliant. I wanted to work with him. I wanted to work with all the brilliant engineers. I didn't want to just be about Minneapolis. This is why I think my thing is varied. And how I ended up having a #1 record with Sly is just, oh my God, I can die after that, because that was our dude. That was our dude. I went in the studio with him one time, and he's out in the studio. I'm in the control room, but I'm playing bass, and I'm sitting He stopped everything. He goes, and it's dark out where he goes, and you just hear that low ass voice. Oh, that's my shit. What do you know about my shit? I'm like, man, and I'm like, who do you think we be trying to be, man? You know, like the smelling good, the Brams, everything. It's like Sly was just such a legendary motherfucker. Man. He still is. Him and George Clinton are just to be in the presence of those guys was just. Then I fucked around and had a song with them, and then we became really good friends. And he was absolutely a sweetheart to me. He would call me in the middle of the night, baby boy, and he was just so grateful for that song. And he didn't write that song, you know, it's weird. And so when John McClain heard the track, well, John flew in to hear the album, and he said, okay. He said, play your album. And I played that. Crazy wasn't on there, but he knew me. I cut more shit. He goes, now play me what you don't like. And that was one of the songs I did like. And he's like, and he's on the other side. He's on the console where he is. And I'm sitting here, and he goes, man, I'm going to take that to LA, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to put Sly on it. I go, no, man, if you're going to do Sly, let me cut something. He goes, no, this is it. Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. And I'm over here. He's over there. I'm like, no, man, fuck that. He goes, no, fuck you. I'm going to do it. I'm going, no, fuck you. We're arguing back and forth, and I just go, okay, man, you got it. And he was 100% right. That's why when people ask me about it, I never take credit for it, because he did all of that. McClain did all of that. He made it all happen. When I heard it, it was like how you heard it. It was when you heard the way you heard it, that's how I heard it. And it was brilliant. So it was the last album Steve Hodge mixed before he moved to Minneapolis. What's that album? Was that Shakadelic? I can't remember. Was that Shakadelic? I can't remember. Crazy was on Shakadelic. Yeah, it was Shakadelic.
Next shot I got.
I love that shot.
This is a great shot. Your custom-made G&L.
Yep.
You've got, are these EMG pickups in here?
Yes, with the gold writing, right, Oliver? Only the gold.
Gold writing, and then Floyd Rose, it looks like? Or
yeah, that's a Floyd. That came with that. They both did, but I put that's a Kaler. I put a Floyd on the other one. The one that's at the Hard Rock Cafe, that's polka dot.
So is this the one that D'Angelo has now?
Yeah, that's the one. Because somebody stole it. It was missing for years, and then I got it back when I lived here. Somebody found it. Because those guitars cost a lot. They were like $6,000 because they were handmade. No, they were handmade. My two were handmade by Leo Fender.
Wow.
They weren't bought in a store, none of that. I talked to him, and his wife recently authenticated them.
Wow.
But those were handmade by Leo. That wasn't from a store. That's why they were custom from head to toe, the color. And the necks are the greatest neck I ever owned, and they're ebony.
Ebony fingerboard.
Yeah.
And was this kind of primarily what was on like your first album? And
No. The guitar that was on that, you can see it. I'm gonna send you some footage so you can see it, because I have pictures of you'll see it. It's nothing like this guitar.
Okay.
Just has these two. G&L had these weird black.
Yeah.
Almost look like P90. The original G&L's had. I think that guy in, not Stone Temple Pilots. What's the singer passed away, but. The band out of Seattle, he plays Lane Staley.
Alice?
Jerry Cantrell.
That guy,
Jerry Cantrell.
He's still, that's all he plays is G&L. But I think he has those black pickups.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They look like P90 shape.
Yeah,
they kind of like a dog ear P90.
That's how that's how the guitar that I use on all that stuff, played gigolos and this, that, and the other. It wasn't these. These guitars came after when I was out on my own. I think whatever this album is.
Okay. So I got here a photo of a very elaborate Robert Bradshaw rig here on the top.
Yeah, it's way more elaborate now.
It's more elaborate now, but Robert Bradshaw, how long had you been going to him? Like since you started going off on your own?
Probably 6 rigs for me, because they used to be rack, but my racks were different because like Stevens and all of them, they had all this digital stuff. My rack was the first one. As a matter of fact, I have it after, I don't know where it is. It's buried now. But I have there's a company called Chris Craft.
Yeah, I remember them.
That's my rack in the ad.
Yeah.
That's my rack. And so Steve and them came in and started looking at my shit. And then they start, because mine has drawers on it, because I got all analog shit.
Yeah. So you're using all physical pedals.
Yeah.
So you were early to the game on that, because that kind of came later.
I just never liked that digital sound thing.
Yeah, because even on this, it's all pedals, and then he's got it kind of in a pedal board format.
Yeah, because this is where you can hit one button and turn everything on.
Right, yeah, so your programmable switcher there.
And the new rig is way doper.
All right, well, we'll have to see a picture of that.
Way more shit on it, though, but not the McWah, though, the McWah.
In the last photo here, I got a photo of you and D'Angelo, and you know, you're one of D'Angelo's favorite guitar players as well, and you've done some major touring with him. And what was that like? Like, how did you get the call to play with him?
I've known him since he didn't even have a mustache yet. I've known him a really long time.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I've known him before he ever came.
Before
out.
Brown Sugar.
No, yeah, before his first album. I've been knowing him forever. Like I knew him. As a kid, he was in Sacramento, I think. No, he was in Sacramento. He was at Ray Sadiq's house.
Oh, okay.
When he was still Raphael Wiggins, but he was there working on that record. But when I met him, he wouldn't look at me.
Really?
He was like so overwhelmed that he was just like he wouldn't look at me. And I was later asked him why are you? And he's like, dude, I was just like so in awe, and all that shit. But yeah, I've been knowing him. So when I went to play, so his assistant, his right-hand guy, Malcolm, knew that I quit the Time when I quit the Time. And he told D, he's like, D, guess what? Jesse quit the Time. And I don't know how people know that shit, because I hadn't said anything to anybody. Somebody must go blast it or whatever. Then he called me and was like, man, know what it was? You know the Verbal record?
Yep.
His guy, Dominique Trenier, was in charge of everything. Like Dominique Trenier had Chiba Sound, had Nick Akasi, heard Nick Akasi, the D and all them were on Chiba Sound. So Dominic and D contacted me. They wanted to put Verbal, because D had just signed a new record deal, a new label deal with RCA, and they wanted to put Verbal out on their label.
Got it.
So I flew to New York to meet with them, and then they were heading to Europe for like 2 or 3 weeks and asked me if I would go with them to play guitar. And I went with him to play guitar.
And the rest is history.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Because I won a Grammy with him on a Black Messiah. Yeah.
What songs were you on for that one?
I'm on damn near everything on there.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm playing a sitar here. It was so much stuff. I'm on a lot of the songs on there.
There's some great guitar playing on that.
Yeah, it's a cool record.
Wow. Well, Jesse, I just want to thank you so much for everything you do,
I'm glad I got
man.
to fulfill that, because Lord have mercy, where we've been going lately.
Well, nevertheless, I want you to understand how important you are in the scheme of guitar players.
I appreciate that.
You know, I know that you know, the Minneapolis Sound, you know, everybody credits Prince, but there's a lot of people that insulated that sound and brought it to other places, and I think you are largely responsible for that sound permeating and getting into California and getting into other guitar players and other artists, and clearly by the pedigree of people that you've played with separately and the albums that you've put out on your own, I think it's proof positive that you are an incredibly influential individual, and I'm just so proud that we get to hear a little bit of your story here.
It's strange to me when it goes that way, because I'm just like, I swear I'm just making music and trying to love. I love what I do, and when people get it, it's like just a icing on the cake. You know? But it's like I just make records, and I really, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I mean, I've done a lot of different things, but it was always for the goal to get to, you know.
Well, thank you again, Jesse.
Oh, my pleasure, man. I'm sure glad I was able to feel, because he was and this I want to thank Oliver Lieber so
Oliver
much
Lieber for hosting,
donating the
and
time,
engineering,
the beautiful studio.
I wanted to add something to what you said, which is that we wouldn't be here in this beautiful studio. I wouldn't have this studio. You know, my life would be very different if it wasn't for Jesse.
Let me tell you how hungry this kid. He was amazing. We're in Minneapolis. This must snow on the ground. We're polar, right? You're in St. Paul, I think, and I'm way in the middle of nowhere in Blaine. I bought this townhouse and I had the studio in it. This kid was no joke. He would drive and all that shit.
He would call me in the middle of the night.
And he would
We'd be at 2 in
come
the morning,
over
like,
and we'd be like, we just would be in there recording, and so we were trying to figure it out. We really were. And then he would crack me up
he had
driving
it
home.
figured out. I was hawking him and
was-
watching him make those records, you know? And I wouldn't have made the records that I made if it hadn't been for Jesse and his influence. And so, yeah, I can't be
He did it,
overstated.
though.
Wow. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having us.